So very excited to be reporting to you from my garden. Can you hear the birds? Amazing. In Cape Town, and usually this is not happening because we're in a Cape Town winter right now, and it's usually absolutely freezing. This is a summer's day. The sun's in the sky. There's not a cloud in the sky. Squirrels jumping around me. It's quite wonderful. So I just thought I'd take the opportunity to get outside and give you a different backdrop. And this is my favorite tree in the world, my big oak tree. So he will be holding space for me, for us, while we have a little chitty chat. So what we want to chitty chat today about, I even have my book here, is the divine masculine. So it's about healing the divine masculine within. Now there's a lot of talk about the divine feminine, like a lot, because she's in the throes of healing. Okay, let me go right back to the beginning. So every single human being has a divine masculine and feminine aspect within, okay? And whether you're a man or a woman, you have it within you, okay? So your feminine is all about your creativity, your joy, your flow, just being all like flicking your skirts around. Even if you're a dude, you can do that, but you get the gist, okay? Your divine masculine is the one that creates systems and puts systems in places. Your divine masculine is the one that makes sure that there's boundaries around you so nobody comes and messes with you. He's the one that helps you land your creativity and your creation and your divine flow, helps you land it here on Gaia. So that's the two dynamics within you when they're in the light aspect. But the reason we're all like this in our lives at the moment, because we are all going through the process of balancing our divine masculine and feminine aspects or frequencies within. That is why one may be atrophied, meaning small. For example, the divine feminine is very, very much, everybody's working with the divine feminine. The Magdalene sisters of the Rose have all come through and started to bring that divine love, unconditional love energy through, because the divine feminine needed healing. She has been muted. The Magdalenes are all about finding your voice, going, speak up now. This is why I've been coughing and all sorts of throat chakra issues here, because we're being heard. And it doesn't matter if you're a dude or not, you're still going to have the same thing about really speaking your truth, speaking your heart, speaking your truth. So that is all feminine energy. And like I say, your divine masculine is about how you're being seen in the world. And that is where the problem is right now, because we've got all of this creation energy flowing through us in such a big way, especially with the eclipse energies, because that's just come through like a freight train. But the thing is, if you've got no divine masculine in balance, healed, ready for you, if you've got no divine masculine to anchor you into the planet, then you're just going to float up here like whatever, waiting to land, just circling and circling. So the divine masculine has a very, very powerful place to, a powerful position to play. So once you understand the dynamics and understand which aspect is about what, you are then able to identify with it a little bit better when you're playing out certain things, and then you can go, oh, that's a bit shadow, or that's a bit light, whatever. But this is what's happening, and the divine masculine and feminine is now balancing, healing, so it can come into oneness, so it can come into that neutrality, and we can all be in unconditional love. I mean, hey ho for that. So what I want to share my story with you, because last year I kicked out my divine masculine because I was like, you know what? I'm all about creation. I mean, I never stopped creating. But I've always been, I say was because I've shifted, I have. I've always been up here and in the stars and like, whoa, amazing, not very grounded at all. And over the past, I would say probably middle of the year, last year, everybody went into their shadow, into their darknesses to kind of like clear their way so they could ground. And that's what happened to me. But in that process, I was creating, and there's loads of projects I wanted to do, and it's like video blogging, writing, whatever, and couldn't understand the frustration. I was like, oh my God, I just want to land things and projects need to start happening now. And I realized the reason it wasn't happening is because long ago I told my divine masculine to head, because the relationship that I had with my divine masculine was too much doing energy. When he's in the shadow, your divine masculine, and I'm now talking about my inner divine masculine, he's the one that makes me work too hard, too physically. I was an exercise specialist, I still kind of am, but I've now since come away from teaching physical bodies in that way because it was making me too masculine, too much doing energy. And when I'm too much in the physical, I can't move through that. So I kind of let that go, and it served me well now, because now I'm able to balance up that masculine, because I blocked him and I was like, you're the guy that gets in the way. I'm trying to bring this creation through, and you're the one that's just so controlling and domineering, because that's what I'm like. I'm very much in doer energy, and that makes me trip up a lot. And I think all of us can relate to that. You know, people like single parents will be very in their masculine because they've got to do everything. They've got to be the masculine and the feminine if dad's not around or mom's not around. You know, so you can understand why we develop these muscles, so we can survive. But it's not required for the new earth, because that's imbalance, and we don't need to survive anything anymore because it's the new earth. So we got to, like, you know, you got the memo, now you need to burn the memo because there's a new one in town, you know. So I was very frustrated as well, because my husband, as I've spoken about, we're twin flames, he was stuck in Zim and he wasn't getting there. So physically I wasn't supported by my my divine masculine counterpart, meaning my husband. So within me, my divine masculine was just the guy that tied my shoelaces together and got in the way. Physically in my life, he's the one that just caused me pain and caused me frustration and made me feel incredibly sad. So I thought, divine masculine, maybe it's time for you to just head. So I moved him on out. Energetically, I packed his bags. Physically, I think I did the same, and I was like, not doing this anymore, you're done. Buzzed around for a few weeks, a few months, going, this is great, okay, I've got all the blocks out the way, meaning the divine masculine, happy days. And then I was like, why can't I land my creations? Why do I feel like there's something missing? And then it was like, oh, you need the divine masculine to land your creations. It's actually part of the divine balance. Oh shit, so I do need him. Have you ever thrown something out that you shouldn't have and you go rummaging through the rubbish? Well, that was kind of me. And then I was like, okay, I get it. So I realigned with my divine masculine and let him back in, let him join the party again. And then obviously things changed with my divine masculine, as in my twin flame journey, because I realized, okay, we are needing to unite. He's part of my uniting. I completely got it wrong. And then when I did that, everything changed. So my thing is, and I've got my list here that I wanted to just say, like, your divine masculine within, this is what I channel wrote this morning, so I need to have it in front of me because it's a list. So your divine masculine within is your it'll come across as like controlling. So is there a part of you that's like super duper controlling through fear? Too much doing energy prevents you from being creative. If I just do it myself, then I'm safe and it's done. Let me just do it. That was my biggest thing, okay? No, and then no natural flow. Your heart will be closed because you don't want to feel or let anything emotional come in and zing you. So let me just do it and keep everything at arm's length. And then you're very head centered then when you're with that. So yeah, fearful, controlling, maybe possessive. Maybe you're possessive over people, places, belongings. That's all the divine masculine within you. That is like, that's not cool. That's got to change. So now let's talk about the divine masculine externally. I would like to ask you, you know, what does your divine masculine show up in the world? What does he look like? Did you have a controlling father? Did you have a controlling brother? Have you had any experiences with the divine masculine in your life? And this is to men as well, where, you know, the divine masculine, meaning the male form, did not work out well for you. You know, because that's also going to make you go, nope, not going there. But that needs to be healed. That needs to be forgiven. And forgiveness is all about letting the other person off the hook. Why? So you can move on. In fact, it's very little about the other person or forgiving the divine masculine. It's very little about that, and it's more about you forgiving so you can come back to your heart. Because when you're angry and you're like, my dad was terrible, or my boss was shitty, or I got robbed by a man and he was just like broke into my house and he abused my family, whatever. What does the divine masculine in physical form represent to you? So you're healing within and you're healing there. But the true healing, where the root of the matter is for you to heal the divine masculine, will always be within. But it's important for you to see where the reflection of the divine masculine in you shows up in your life in relation to your male relationships, okay? Because that's going to make you understand and go, oh, okay, well, I kicked him out. Yeah, okay, that happened. You know, you're going to take a lot of sense from it, which is going to help you with the process of healing, okay? So I go back to my list. So when you basically healed your divine masculine and it's all tickety-boo, or you're moving in the right direction, what you're going to experience, and remember, the healing always starts within, so you start to look at your own attributes and say, where am I controlling? Where you might even find it on a physical level. Like right now, as I speak to you, I shit you not, my whole right side is pinged, and I've been given a very, very bad wrist today since this message came through yesterday, which is why they're like, when I say they, powers above, you will share this message. And I was like, oh my God. And they always get my attention physically. So there was no way that I couldn't do another blog today because I don't want to be in pain anymore. I'm sure it will subside. But my right side, my wrist, it was all about how I give, how I give. And I've been connecting with things which are more about self-worth. I've got to give. Everything's about self-worth. I've got to give because that's gonna feed me back for self-worth, because I'm a little bit low self-esteem about certain things. So I've been picking things to vibe with, to share with the world. But that ain't it. This is me sharing from my heart now, just cause. So the whole point is sharing from your heart no matter what. No expectation. Okay, no expectation. Do not worry about how it's received out there. It's about you being seen in the world. Because if you're worrying about how you're received out there, then guess what? You're being in your masculine, because you're going, well, I'm going to share, but I'm also going to control the receiving of the person. I mean, Jesus, just be you. Share your light, be seen, get out there, go, okay, cool, moving on. Hence why I'm on my second video in 2 days. This is my big message. This is my big lesson, and I'm sharing it with you right here, right now. Live, y'all. So you get where I'm going with all of this. So when your masculine is in the light and you start to feel things shift, first of all, you won't be in pain on your right side because your right is your doing side. So he works with the feminine, okay? We've already spoken about that the divine masculine works with the feminine, holds space for her. He celebrates her. He allows her voice to be heard. He's ride or die, yo. And like, so's the divine feminine with a divine masculine, yo. They're ride or die. And that is just like I'm going to say Bonnie and Clyde, but in the most highest vibrational sense of the word. So he creates systems and methods of support for the feminine. He space holds. He holds the space. He makes sure that nobody comes in and fucks with her, you know? And he holds her so she can be nurtured. Because in turn, he will be nurtured as a result, getting goosebumps. He grounds her. He is the root system. I mean, oh God, you know, he is the root system. Like, let's go to this oak here. Oak, this is the oak. His root system is like beautiful. And the acorns and the leaves, which you can't see, that is right there. And the squirrels is the divine feminine. So they're great analogy, right? Squirrels jumping through the trees, which they always do here anyway, and they jump and they collect the acorns. They're having a fat, happy time up there, and they're just enjoying. But his root system is in the earth, and he's like, you ain't gonna fall, yo. I'm gonna hold you up, yo. I'm gonna hold the space while you play in my branches, my arms, and I'm gonna go grow really cool green leaves and acorns. See where I'm going with this? So it's actually understanding the dynamic, and sometimes bringing it down to simplicity makes it a lot more tangible, right? So it's all about healing from within and understanding that dynamic. So just checking here that I haven't missed anything. No, I haven't. So that's it in a nutshell. All right. That is it, where you understand where you might be into where you are going. All right. And it's okay to be in shadow, because the most powerful thing about all of this is knowing you're in shadow. It doesn't matter if you've listened to this video and you've gone, oh my God, I didn't realize I haven't fixed that. No fixing. It's just knowing where you are. Energy check. You know, am I in my shadow, or am I in my light? Even the lightest parts of me, some days have a bit of a shadow day, and I go, no. Let's realign. Thanks very much. So it will always be this ebb and flow, because we're humans. You can't walk around like emanating like white light. Well, actually, I lie. New Earth, 50 vibrations, maybe that's where we're going to. So maybe scrap that. But in this current time and age of us healing ourselves, you're going to have shadows and light, okay? And that's okay. But understand where you are. So give your divine masculine a lot of support right now, because where we are going in the world, which is a big thing. Think about this, especially with husbands, boyfriends, brothers, whatever. Even the man behind the desk who's serving you, who might be a bit like angry or frustrated. The whole masculine system are governments. It's banks, it's monetary systems. Every single corporate organization is very male orientated. All of those systems are falling away. And where do all of our men, how do they vibe with the world when they go out there and work? They are part of that system. And right now, all of those systems all over the world are crashing, okay? Because it's the divine masculine. It needs to. Too controlling, too dominant. You don't see many females, you don't see like a whole government full of women. No, not saying that that's where we should be, but you see what I'm saying? The dominance of the divine masculine. It's time for them to chill out and know their place in respect to the divine feminine. The divine feminine knows their place in respect to the divine masculine. So it's this beautiful, beautiful ebb and flow. And I'm going to leave you with this last understanding. The way that I explain the divine feminine and the divine masculine and how they should vibe. Imagine a group of girls going off to the nightclub, okay? And they're dancing on the dance floor with their handbags, having a fat time, enjoying. And a husband has gone, or husbands have gone to go and have a drink at the bar. That husband watches his wife dancing on the dance floor, having a great time, sipping on his beer at the bar, doing his own thing, just making sure that his girl and her girlfriends have a good time, making sure, watching from afar, that nobody comes and hits on them, or nobody comes and ruins their girl's night out. He's not there on the dance floor with him because he don't want to be, but he's just going to sit back here and hold the space and make sure that that vessel is held so beautifully that they have the best night ever, and they can indeed flick their skirts, flick their hair, and just be in joy. So understanding that analogy, very, very everyday explanation, you'll understand the bigger picture. So I am going to leave you with that. And yeah, I just sending it out there. Yeah, a lot of love and a lot of understanding. And the divine feminine is holding the space at this current moment for the divine masculine to heal. So understand that that is a little bit of a thing going on. Yes, he holds space for you, but we also have to hold space while he gets his shit together. That's kind of like, you know, I think that's fair. Anyway, thank you for listening. And I will be posting very soon with more stuff, because these messages and this guidance is coming through like a freight train. So yeah, see you soon, y'all, from me in my garden. Bye.